I'd like to call the July 26th Park Board meeting to order at 6:13. We'll start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Ms. Abernathy, can we start with the roll call, please?
Mr. Holstein.
Present.
Mr. Marquardt.
Present.
Ms. Miller. Present. Mr. Rodriguez.
Present.
Ms. Sheehan. Present. Mr. Gergel.
Present.
Ms. Gamber. Present. Mr. Salatas.
Present.
Margaret in for Ashley Abernathy. And Attorney Austin will not be present with us this evening. We also have Town Council Liaison Rick Sharp with us.
Okay. We have a quorum. The first item here, we have a presentation from LaTanya Woodson of Edgewater Health. If you wouldn't mind stepping up to the podium, please.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is LaTanya Woodson. I'm the Director of Community Health Education at Edgewater Health. And I spoke to Dale, and we're new. Edgewater is new in the area. We're over there by Strachan Van Til, right off of Parish Avenue. And we have a women's health, family medicine service at this location. We opened up here in May. But to give you a little bit of information about Edgewater, our primary office is located in Gary, where we specialize in behavioral medicine and primary care. We have other locations as well. Turning Point, which we service addictions, Rapid Access Center, which we service crisis intervention, University Park, which is a primary care, and Griffith, which is a primary care. The reason why I'm here is because we would like to start a program. We want to really get to know the community and want the community to know us. And we would like to have a chat and chew with physicians for the senior program. So with this, one of our clinical staff, they will come out and have like a 15-20 minute presentation on a health-related topic as it pertains to aging, like maybe healthy aging, falls and prevention of falls, anywhere from nutrition, diabetes prevention and management, anything dealing with healthy aging. And once the physician or clinical representative is finished, then we will spend some time there so that individuals will be able to come over to the table and ask questions at that time. So we have this program. We've done this program before. As a matter of fact, we have a heart health program at our main campus where we partner with Health Visions Midwest. So we're very aggressive in the community. We would love for the community to get to know us. And I have some information about Edgewater. If you all would like it, I can leave it on the table or pass it out. You let me know. And
absolutely. Yeah,
if you have any questions,
feel free to pass that out after we're done talking. Just to give the board some background and our liaison some background, Ms. LaTanya and I have already had some discussions about their involvement with our senior social that we've kicked off. We've had one, so I can't say we've had one, but we're heading towards two. And, you know, the biggest concern I have with Edgewater and or any other organization that wants to sponsor is I want it to be a 10-minute at most, presentation, we can set up a table. We want the senior community to be able to still play their games, you know, Miss Latanya can play games if she wants, you know, whatever. You know, but I think it's a valuable resource to the community. I referenced it at the event when we had the police chief and fire chief show up, you know, when I was a kid in Sesame Street, they had that thing, people in your neighborhood. And I think it's important to meet the people in your neighborhood that are resources to our citizens. So we've had good conversation. I'm excited to hear that they're interested in participating in that. You know, they're obviously more than welcome more than once, but I think it'll fit very well in our agenda item number 5 as far as a date. My only question is just so we know, just in case you have to leave before the meeting ends, have you had an opportunity to talk with your staff about that tentative date and their attendance?
You were indicating that a tentative date would be in August.
August 17th, I believe
August
is the date we're looking
17th. They were looking at either, are you contemplating having another session in September, or would it be August and then
Our goal is to have at
something
least
regular?
once a month.
Okay.
So if August, and we haven't even officially decided on August 17th, that's just the date we've looked at. And again, kind of to be determined. So if your intuition is that August doesn't work, you're welcome in September, and I will give you that date as soon as.
The reason why I'm saying September is because we would, as I indicated to you, we would love to have a book bag giveaway or a sports physical at one of your school systems, maybe Hanover High School, or, you know, and I would want to contact the athletic department to see if this was possible. So we were trying to do something, you know, in that manner as well, and we're also having book bag giveaways in our some of our other sites. So I didn't want to coincide with that since school is starting.
Right, and it's starting early this year?
It's starting earlier, so I wanted to make sure that our team would be prepared for this event. So I'm thinking September the 15th would be better.
Okay, let me write that down. Does the board have any questions for her as far as, forgive me, not her, Latanya, forgive me.
So other than just being invited to the senior social event, is there any other resources that you'd expect from us, or is just kind of your team shows up?
Our team shows up. Dale indicated refreshments, and we would supply the refreshments as well.
Okay. That's good to know.
I just need, you know, a kind of an estimate of how many people would be there so that we will be able to accommodate.
Perfect.
And I think this can expand, you know, once we bring back youth sports and things like that. Maybe there's a youth sports health clinic or whatever we can kind of work together on, or I'm sure there's other possibilities, but for right now, I'll just stay in my lane, and we'll keep September 15th in mind for Edgewater to come sponsor the senior social. Greg, Sarah, do you guys have any questions for Ms. Latanya? No?
No question. Sounds good.
Okay, cool. If you want to just pass out what you brought, that'd be great.
Sure, and thank you for inviting me and allowing me to share this information.
Absolutely.
It was nice meeting you.
Thank you very much for coming.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it. Okay.
And this is just, I'll just give you the information pertaining to, I don't know if everyone got a chance to see our leaflet that was mailed out.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Again, thank you very much. I appreciate you, coming out and the conversation we've had so far.
Thank you.
All right, great. All right, so we're on the consent agenda. Item number 1 is approval of the May 26, 2022 meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve them.
Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Markwart for approval of the minutes. Can I get a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay.
Mr. Holstein?
Yes?
Mr. Markart?
Yes.
Ms. Miller? Yes. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Okay, 4-0. Item number 1 on new business is the boundary and topography survey proposal for various parks. Ms. Miller and I had a meeting with Context, right? Sumac. I'll get them straight. Sumac. And there was discussion about the pavilions and the future placement of those pavilions and so on and so forth. And one of the items that was discussed was it might be in our best interest, instead of just, for lack of better words, just sticking them in the ground, getting the proper survey work so that the contractors know what they're up against as far as terrain and so on and so forth. There was discussion that might have also, there was a lot of factors that affected getting no bids for the pavilions and prior, and this will help that along. Before I solicit a motion, I have not seen a response back from legal, and he's not here tonight. Has the attorney indicated park impact fee use for that survey?
I've not been able to check my email since 3 o'clock, but when I talked to him last, he said he was going to issue an opinion, and he said he would suggest that if the park board was going to make a motion to approve, because he tentatively hinted at it possibly being approved or giving a favorable opinion, that it just be made contingent on legal review.
Okay. And I would agree with that. So again, I mean, we need to do this right. We need to make this desirable for the contractors that are going to do this. Let's make it easier for them. Let's know our topography, placement, so on and so forth. So I am looking for a motion to approve the amount of $16,800 out of park impact fees contingent on legal review to have the 4 properties, Monastery Woods, Woods of Cedar Creek, Lynn's Way, and Kiwanis Park properly surveyed. Can I get that motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Okay, I have a motion from Mr. Rodriguez. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a second from Greg. Is there any further discussion?
No, I agree, it needs to happen.
I would agree too. I think that, let's do this right. Let's get it right from the start. These aren't temporary projects. These are long-term projects. Okay?
Mr. Holstein?
Yes.
Mr. Markart?
Yes.
Ms. Miller? Yes. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Okay. Carries 4-0. Item number 2 is Lakeside Artist Guild concert on Saturday, September 3rd, 2022. Background for the board, we met with Andy Anderson, who is in charge of the Lakeside Artist Guild, and he had expressed an interest in performing a free concert on Saturday, September 3rd, 2022. We are not waiting for a contract on that. We're going to forego that, correct? We're just going to allow him to have the event on the 3rd. There's no charge. Refresh my memory, are we going to incur a cost for security on that?
No,
Okay,
I don't believe so.
okay. I just want to make sure that that's not something that's going to throw in. Mr. Anderson had expressed interest to Ms. Miller and I in our conversation that he really views Cedar Lake as home, and he kind of wants to eventually maybe build into like a summer concert series, you know, crossing all different genres of music and so on and so forth. with the absence of the symphony, I think this is a nice void. It does not interfere with the actual Labor Day weekend event, and it, if anything, kind of expands it, diversifies options for the crowds that so desire. So I am looking for a motion to approve the Lakeside Arts Guild to have their concert on September 3rd, time to be determined, details to follow.
I'll give a motion.
Okay, I have a motion from Ms. Miller.
I'll second.
I have a second from Greg.
Mr. Holsey,
Yes.
Mr. Markort,
Yes.
Ms. Miller? Yes. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Okay, carries 4-0. Item number 3, we have the Cedar Lake Labor Day Festival on Sunday, September 4th, 2022. Ms. Sheehan had reached out to us and asked if we wanted to assist. Ms. Sheehan, if you could just kind of elaborate to what that assistance would be and what do you need?
It's really up to you guys. So I did the Labor Day Fest last year, I intend to do it this year, pretty close to the same. I have a grant that I'm using for it, so that'll be coming from those funds. I have Bugaboo's putting up a beer garden, I have several bands, I am paying for bounce houses. The Farmers Day Market participates. Who all will be here from them, I'm not 100% sure yet. We're working on that. Kelly and I are working on that. I did pay for the horses and pony rides last year, so they were free to everybody that came in. They will not be this year. I don't have as much grant money as I had last year, so I have to cut my budget a little bit. And we did provide free food. So we had hot dogs, hamburgers, and chips, pop and water, as long as supplies lasted, basically. So bottom line for you guys is anywhere you'd like to participate, you want to come and help out to volunteer, or you want to set up something just to spread more word about what you guys are doing. I just wanted to let you know you're more than welcome to join in any way that you would like to.
Okay, yeah, so, everyone can check their schedules and see what,
Yeah, even if you want to pass information out about
Yeah.
your senior days or whatever, anything, you
Sure.
know, or something you wanted, or wanted to be included that maybe I can assist with.
I'm sure some way, you know, I'm sure some way we can obviously participate and then, you know, maybe.
It's a holiday weekend and a lot of people travel.
Yeah,
They
well-
don't have plans, so.
I mean, I'm sure we can try to figure out some way to help out, you know, whatever. Do we, officially need a motion to say we're gonna come help out?
I think you do. I don't
No.
think it needed to be really on the agenda. I was just reaching out to you guys.
Okay, no, that's fine,
So,
that's fine,
Rock and
well,
roll?
yes.
we are gonna have rock and roll.
Okay.
So, from 5 to 8, I've got the Don Barron Band coming. If anybody's familiar with Johnny Bravo, he's the lead singer from Johnny Bravo. And the rest of the guys in the band are from all local.
Wait, Greg Brady's coming?
And-
Wasn't he Johnny Bravo?
Yeah.
I grew up with a mother who watched every episode of Brady Bunch, so.
Okay. So yeah, it should be a fun day. It was a really good turnout last year. We had a lot of people here. Basically, I'll give away as much as I can. Like I said, I will probably reach out to Eagles and a few others, see if I get a few more sponsors, and then maybe I can include some more free items. It was just kind of fun to be able to have a festival and not charge people when they come in.
That's awesome.
I mean, that's the best part of it, is you're promoting community and it's not costing you a dime.
Right,
Or
you know, the
minimal.
farmer's market stuff is different. If you purchased food from their food
Sure.
trucks, or, you know, they had vendors out there, and this year, again, the horse and ponies, people want them, they have to pay for them, they're out there, but, the bounce houses will be free, the music will be free, some free food,
Awesome.
and Bugaboo's you'll have to pay for, obviously.
Yeah, we can't get crazy like that.
Yeah, no.
That's not,
But anyway, I don't think it needs to be an agenda item.
okay, awesome, well, we'll all figure out what where and
Yeah.
how, and, you know, I appreciate the invite to be a part of it, so.
Sure.
Sounds like it'll be a good time. Item number 4, consider hosting a Midway Ballroom fundraiser. So, for the board, the background of this is a lot of great bad ideas come from conversations that I have with my wife. And, we did the boat ride with the Historical Association, and for whatever reason, there was a lot of talk about the Midway Ballroom, and there's obviously a lot of history in this town of the Midway Ballroom, but my wife made the mistake of giving me an idea, which means now I don't stop. And she's like, you know, it seems like everyone wants to remember the Midway Ballroom. Why don't we remember the Midway Ballroom and make it a fundraiser for the Park and Recreation Department? So this is all very, and Andy from the Artist Guild offered to be a part of it as well, providing music and whatever. I guess what I kind of envision, in 2020, like a month before the pandemic, I hosted an event at the Lighthouse for the MacArthur PTO, and it was the Roaring Twenties in 2020, and we were trying to raise money for a new playground for MacArthur. We had some Arthur Murray Dance Studio people that came and offered to teach. No one took them up on it. No one's dancing legs really were there, except maybe Luann and Ralph. I think those. I think they were out there dancing. So. Indoor, outdoor, I don't know. I was looking to reach out to Dana, I think her name's Hernandez. She's in charge of like the events, and I was going to see how willing they would be to host an event and what terms we could come up with. When I did it for MacArthur, they pretty much waived all their like contractual obligations, and the only stipulation was I had to tell her 3 or 5 days before the event the food count, because that's when they ordered from the truck, but they waived like cancellation fees, minimum quantities. They were really awesome to work with. I know this is recorded and live for the record. I'm not expecting them to do that, but it'd be nice. Anyways, so what I'm looking for is you guys to kind of support this idea a little bit and allow me to at least spread my wings with some assistance and see if they're willing to work with us on that. And if it doesn't happen this year, maybe next year. But I think a lot of people in this community love the Midway Ballroom. It had a great history. It had a great past. There are people in this community that were very big parts of it. I haven't got to him yet, and I know I need to.
Yeah.
I mean, he obviously owned it.
Yeah.
So, but I really think that as a Parks and Recreation community, if we could put together, maybe this is the event. Maybe this is the annual event of the Parks and Recreation Department as a massive fundraiser, and we come up with a target. You know, this is the fundraiser for insert whatever random object, you know, you can think of. So all I'm actually looking for is a motion to allow me to kind of feel out a venue and kind of brainstorm a little bit. I'm not going to spend any money. We don't have any. And, you know, just let me kind of work on this, and if I reach out for some help, I just appreciate some support. I don't even know if we really, well, I guess we need a motion to maybe start planning it. So if I can get a motion to start brainstorming this, that'd be great.
I have a motion.
All right, Sarah says yes. Okay, can we get a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Greg, do we have any other discussion? Again, nothing major really coming out of this yet, other than maybe a venue and a date, and everything else we can build off that. I think I put the MacArthur one together in a couple months. It was fun. You were there.
Yeah.
You weren't dancing.
It was good. It would turn out really well. Did you raise a lot of money?
Yeah, so, the existing playground fund at MacArthur's PTO budget at the time had like $10,000 in it, and that was like off pop tab sales, and they were, or pop tab turn-ins, and they were doing penny drives, and so my goal was have an expensive-ish event to make money, and people would come, and they did, and we raised almost $9,000 in one night.
Yeah, that's cool.
The blessing in disguise is the new superintendent of the school corporation said that the PTO shouldn't be paying for playgrounds. And we're supposedly getting a new playground. But again, I realize that every fundraiser doesn't hit every budget. You know, you're doing something for $0 that allows everyone a chance to participate. If we decide to make this a fundraiser for any Parks Department project, the goal is to make money.
Well,
So,
right.
you know.
That's a whole different thing. You're not using grant money for tourism.
Right, so we as a board can come up with what we want that fundraiser effort to be. You know, there's obviously need. We're starting with minimal things. We can come up with a project that maybe we wouldn't be able to do and go from there. So, Jennifer, do you have any concerns on the clerk treasurer end as far as like, is there anything we need to worry about as far as if we decide to raise funds for something?
I would say this would need to be a continuing conversation with the town attorney. I'd want to check something with him on, because of the word you're using, fundraiser, because government, we're not really in the business of making
Okay.
money. So this is kind of, and I think David might have mentioned it in one of the first meetings you guys had, this is kind of where the Parks Foundation
Right.
would come into action, not the Parks Board. It would need to be a functional
Okay.
Parks Foundation. So, yeah, I would say let's kind of reconnect with, David just on fundraising aspect of it.
Sure.
But, okay, it sounds like you're just in kind of beginning discussion.
Right, exactly.
So,
Okay,
just to kind of make
Cool.
sure we're on the up and up.
perfect. Awesome. Anyone else have any concerns before we move on?
Like, mine would just be exactly what Jen just said. I think this would probably be better suited for the Park Foundation officially than the Park Board.
And while we are talking about that, I did speak to an individual, I just need to speak with legal, as far as what that individual or individuals would have to do to kind of start running with it. But I have a very eager, enthusiastic individual who would like to take that on. So, I talked with him today, so cool. Okay, so we'll stay within reason here and not get crazy in those big loose conversation. Perfect.
Roll call?
Yeah,
Are we good to move forward with the vote with the word foundation in there, or does that need to be changed? Or not foundation, excuse me, fundraiser?
Since this is just brainstorming, I think you've got support of the board. This may be probably just like the previous item, probably best left, until we have further direction on which direction we're gonna take.
okay,
And if that's the case, then I would just ask that those that made the motion and second just withdraw their
okay,
motions, and we'll move on to the next item.
perfect.
Well, I withdraw my motion for the fundraiser.
And I withdraw my second.
There's no hard feelings, okay, cool. All right. Okay, so item number 5, we have the August Senior Citizen Social. We're looking at the 17th, it still gives a couple weeks. Obviously, it sounds like Edgewater may not be able to participate in that one. I do have Officer Harry Preste, who has offered to put on a, senior, like, self-defense, protect themselves type thing. I don't think we're gonna get into the business of, like, tossing people and throwing punches, so I feel pretty confident in doing that, unless you're in. No?
That would definitely
Okay.
require a waiver to be.
Yeah, we'll definitely have a waiver for that. So the date was thrown out of August 17th. I know I can commit to that day, to be there to help with that. I guess I'm looking for a motion to have the second, social. It's a Wednesday.
Oh,
Wednesday.
Okay.
I was sternly told that Thursdays are very inconvenient. I have to rotate them.
Oh. And this
You're listening
probably,
to the public then, right?
Yes.
so we won't be supplying all the beverages and,
So this one, I'm pretty sure we'll be able to get coffee from Rhonda again.
okay,
When I spoke with Rhonda from SIP, she kind of made it sound like she would do a once-a-month thing. In fairness to her, I might rotate it just so it's not, I have another potential source. Unless Rhonda says, no, seriously, I don't care. I mean, really, it was one
yeah.
it was one vat of coffee. I mean, so it wasn't like she was very generous, but it's not like we, took a lot from them. So I will reach out to Rhonda, and some people, and I guess that's gonna come up in project updates too, but, some of the feedback I got is it doesn't have to be super elaborate. So if it's just coffee and soft drinks, then it's just coffee and soft
Maybe
drinks.
donuts, though.
Yeah.
I might go to sort my stuff myself and pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, we can dress this up whatever way we wanna dress it up, so, ultimately, I'm just looking for a motion to have the second event on, August 17th.
I'll make a motion to have the second event on August 17th.
All right, motion from Greg.
What time does it start, sorry?
2 to 4 worked well, I think, last time.
Sometimes 2 means about 1:30 for CAs.
Well, that's true, there were some early attendees. I'm open to,
That's fine, just so we know.
we'll do 2 to 4, but we'll be there early, and if someone shows up, they're welcome to wash tables while we wait till 2 o'clock.
No parking.
Yeah. So we'll say 2 to 4, August 17th. Okay, second for Paul. Any further discussion? Okay,
Mr. Holstein?
yes.
Mr. Markort?
Yes.
Ms. Miller? Yes. Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Okay, carries 4-0. Project updates, item number 1, clerk treasurer funds report. I believe that's gonna be third item down on our iPads, if you don't have it in front of you.
Third and fourth.
Those
Okay.
last two items.
Last 2 items.
Yeah, I kind of just updated what I had given you in previous months. So since it's been a while since I've actually met with you guys, that first report, that's titled Invoice GL Distribution Report. That is all your expenditures out of the Park Impact Fund from May 1st to July 26th. So I ran it as of today. And pretty much what it's been is the continuation of the install of that new playground equipment that was purchased, so Kiwanis, Winsway, Montessori Wood. You guys had already previously approved the Kinder mulch, the pretty blue mulch for the park, so we actually paid that out, you can see it in there. And Public Works has been doing some more electrical work at Kiwanis Park, so, I mean, those are pretty minimal purchases they've had. And so it's just kind of continuing with those projects that were already in motion. And then I upped the fourth page, that's a continuation of the list of projects that Mr. Everly had created, that council had kind of already approved direction for. So it's just to let you know what's completed, what's still in progress, or what we haven't quite yet begun, but it's still on the list as an idea. So, you know, as you guys start, maybe throwing out some more projects or whatnot, we can either add it here or start kind of, you know, however you want to keep track of things.
Sure.
We can do for you. This is pretty much letting you know what's been going on in the Park Impact Fund. As we move forward with actually establishing a true department budget for you guys, so next year, you'll start to see a couple more pages added to this, because you'll have a different expenditure report and actually have appropriations that are approved by the state, and we have to follow and stay within, so you'll see some different things next year. It'll be a few more pages to report.
Okay. Any questions, concerns for Ms. Sandberg? No?
Do we need to keep, or do we need to put the cost for the moving the park equipment?
Was there?
Like, do we need to add that as project item?
So that's gonna be, that's gonna be for
Oh, you mean
further.
the survey work
That's
that you
another
just,
time.
or?
No,
No, so that hasn't, I'm gonna take that to legal and figure out if park impact fees are an appropriate use for that. Otherwise, it's gonna be a budgetary thing. Now, I mean, that being said, I don't know. That's for further discussion. It's down the road, but, I have some support in correcting those deficiencies, and when we decide if we're gonna cross that bridge or not, we'll put that on the agenda.
okay.
And once I have a opinion from legal, and that's appropriate use, then we probably could, but if it doesn't become deemed appropriate use, that's something we'll have to factor in on a budget aspect, so,
Yeah.
that's a song for another time.
All right.
So, okay, so project updates, item number 2 is washroom and pavilion projects. Again, we've kind of talked about that, we're kind of at a standstill. We were hopeful that we would have pavilions this year, and we're not. They have given us, Sumac has given us some wonderful assistance. They're gonna help us create a timeline. The first part of that all is the survey work, which we took action on tonight. As far as design, placement, you know, everything, they're gonna give us a timeline of when we need to hit step 1, 2, 3, et cetera. And again, part of that could be moving the play equipment into the 2 parks specifically where it just doesn't line up, with what we had discussed. So, you know, the survey works to start the process, and we'll just take it step by step from there and make sure that, you know, things are just done right. So, I don't have anything else for the washroom or pavilion project. I don't think anyone else does, do we?
There'll be, as you mentioned, there'll be a timeline forthcoming. We're looking at finishing up design work once we get the topos in. I imagine the topos will take probably about 6 weeks, just because a lot of they're busy because of all the building that's going on in the region. But we're looking for possibly bidding out over winter, so that way they can award it at winter, have them order supplies, whoever's awarded the contract, assuming we have additional, or more bidders this time, more than 0. They'll be able to order through spring, and then once the ground is stable in either late spring, early summer, they can go out and build the pavilions and restroom.
I think part of the discussion we had is to allow some flexibility on some things to make the timeline more appealing, but not dragged out forever. So, you know, let's just hope for good results and, you know, see what happens. So, item number 3, project updates for playground improvements at various parks. Obviously, the blue mulch is in. And I've heard very nice compliments about blue mulch, so that's nice. Obviously, it's something we'd like to get in the other parks down the road, but I think everything's pretty well situated. As far as the 4 parks that needed the blue mulch, I believe that's all completed. So, you know, that needs done. The play equipment's in. And I think that's really kind of it for now. I mean, that's kind of
I will give a couple updates.
Yeah.
Over at Kiwanis. We will have the pavers and the paving of the parking lot and the sidewalk installation will take place soon. I just talked with Tim on it, and he's coordinating with the bidder that was awarded the contract for that. And then he's also looking to get a quote from some contractors to do a final grade on the dog park, to level it out, and then we'll have Public Works seed it. Unfortunately, we've just been too busy to be able to grade it ourselves right now.
okay. And then, I guess I'll just counter back to you as far as like policy and how we're gonna operate that dog park.
That will be, because we probably missed the mark on this year, that will probably be tackled next year in your budget when you have line item money for attorney fees.
Okay.
Because it will probably require a significant policy, waivers, general have to establish, you know, what to establish a fee, general have to establish a process with her office. There'll be some security aspects for fobs and whatnot, nothing terribly complicated, but probably outside of our scope of being able to accomplish it this year.
So, would it be feasible, because I see plenty of it on Facebook, is it open, is it not, is it open, is it not? Once we get it graded and seeded, can we lock it and mark it as closed?
That's what we should do.
You can padlock the gates.
I mean, honestly,
If that's the direction of the park board, we can do that now.
so, I'm hesitant towards it, because some people are actually using it, but once we get it to its final,
Right, but once you lock it and charge, now they're gonna say, we've been using it for a year.
Yes.
I personally would lock it, it's not complete, it's not ready to be used, and we leave it till it's ready, and then at that point, say, okay, you have to go sign up at the town, this is what you have to do, blah, blah, blah,
Sure.
that's what we need. We need to know that your dogs have their shots, this is the fee,
Yeah, policy in place.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
I would
right
agree.
now, because we put it up there, we haven't said open or closed. If dog attacks another dog, are we liable at that point? We're not insuring it, we haven't done anything, we just put up a fence and people heard of the dog park, I don't know.
Would be covered under the town's insurance generally, but I do think that it's probably, you make some valid points about closing it, and I don't even necessarily need a vote by the park board, as long as there's just a general acceptance of, we should lock this, I have the authority, it's technically property of the town council, so I can just go and.
I think Ms. Sheehan brings up a lot of valid points. My thought is like, if we're trying to get it ready to be nice, to be operational, then we should not let people occupy it until, I mean, I understand people have been using it, but,
Kind of a
I think we should
construction
just
site
lock
right
it
now,
until it's
essentially.
ready.
but
Yeah.
let's, if we can lock it, mark it as closed, whatever, you know, I think, do Paul, Sarah, do you guys have any feelings towards that?
I agree with the sentence, it should be closed till it's properly prepared.
Yeah, I would agree.
As a safety issue, I would just close the thing up till we're ready for it.
Yeah, I agree.
I will, I'll work on that, and then speaking of safety issue at Kiwanis Park, the Public Works Department has ordered, caution railroad signs that we will place at the open area, by the playground between the open space and the railroad tracks. I believe I have them ordered 3, so that way we can place 2 relatively nearby in that open area, and then 1 a little further back, probably where it's a little more wooded, just as a general, we've covered ourselves and made everyone explicitly aware that there are railroad tracks at the other side of
I think it's a good solution. I think, and it's better than nothing at this point. I think that's a good start.
I think so. I mean, looking at it, I just looked at it the other day again, and it's a good dip in there. I mean, that ditch is not small.
Yeah.
And I just think the signs are probably.
I think that's appropriate for now.
I think it's appropriate.
And I think as long as legal agrees that we've protected ourselves in the event, God forbid, there's a tragedy, you know, I think that's the most important thing, is that we protect ourselves as well. Obviously, we want to protect the community, but we want to protect ourselves too, so.
Yep.
Okay.
You know, that little shed over by Kiwanis,
Yeah.
you know, the little one, I think it's salvageable and everything. I don't think it should be knocked down, but I think it should be secured, because I think the kids are all getting in there. I keep seeing the door open and then they shut it, but all you have to do is pull it, it pops right open.
Okay.
So maybe we can
Just
order 3
Multiple
padlocks.
locks?
Well, just
Yeah.
something, you know, just so they can't.
I mean, is there anything, I mean, obviously, kids do what kids do. Is there anything of value in that shed? Do we know what's even in that thing?
There is
I don't even know.
nothing really in value.
I mean, we still should lock it just from the aspect of a safety aspect and, you know, whatever, so we can, all right, so we're padlocking the dog park and the shed.
Well,
If we got it, we'll lock it.
All right.
The shed already has a lock on it, it's just able to be Jimmy or whatever that would be.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
It doesn't fit in at the very top, the pull-down thing, so just needs to be worked on.
Okay.
I'd
Well,
say that the kids, I see them constantly throwing rocks at it and just kind of hanging around it, and there's holes in it to where I'm pretty sure there's gotta be animals living in there. Is there really a purpose for it?
I believe it's slated to be demolished eventually, especially if it's got nothing in
The
it.
next move, it'll just go down on its own, to be honest with you.
Okay, good.
It's lucky that it even got to where it's at now.
So we should probably take it down before it comes down on a kid that breaks
I
in there.
just soon have that thing removed.
so we'll bust out the gold shovels and we'll knock it down.
Right.
I'll get gold
We'll go over there with
sledgehammer.
the
Sorry, and
shovel.
have a demolition groundbreaking.
All right, I like it. I like it.
Bye-bye.
Okay, any other discussion as far as playground equipment? Board members, anyone? Okay. Item number 4, for senior social. It would be silly of me not to acknowledge publicly a lot of the people that were involved in that event, whether it was the board members, the council supporting the food, Sip Coffee House, Margaret bringing a car full of everything. She was like the car of fun, just had like everything in her car. the Lakeside Artists Guild for bringing their students to perform, the police department for doing the,
911.
not active 911.
Rave 911.
Yeah, so, Chief Fisher said 31 residents signed up for Smart 911, to get their information in the system so that when 911's called, their medical history and all that stuff pops up for the dispatcher. As a first responder, that's a great resource. The more I know going into something, the better off I am. It was awesome. I would say we had almost 50 attendees. Lots of smiles, lots of conversation, lots of stuff. It was a success, and it wouldn't have been successful without everyone kind of banding together to make, for sure the first one happen. So again, I think I can't thank everyone involved enough. Sarah was playing board games with people. I was getting yelled at, but it's part of the deal. But just the same, there was also some really good conversations had. The community said that, a lot of people in the community had expressed that this is so simple and so needed, and thank you. And, one lady put it to me, just thank you for caring about us. I think it's going to be a cool thing. I think it's going to be a thing. I don't think it's going away. And we just got to figure out how we want to shape it. To expand even further, I had a nice lady who approached me and said she wants to be the senior volunteer coordinator. When we, she's like, I'll take this off your hands. I'll put this together. I'll coordinate this. I'll volunteer. I'm looking for something to do. So it was a great first event. I'm very proud of what we put out with virtually no funds. The community really rallied together, and we had a good time.
Good.
So thank you again to everyone involved. Written communication, it's not in your packets. I think it came to all of us, but we did get an email from, hang on a second. We have a lot of emails.
That happens.
Just today.
Help me with the subdivision name, Margaret.
Ledgestone HOA?
Ledgestone HOA, thank you. Now I'm just trying to find it. Ledgestone HOA reached out to us. Perfect, thank you. We received a letter from Jimmy Nelson, the Ledgestone HOA president. Him and I had a conversation by phone, and basically, he had reached out and asked if we could consider supplying a pavilion to their property. He specifically states that there's a consistent agreement amongst the neighborhood that they do not desire a playground, but they really would appreciate a pavilion. In Dale language, I told him get in line. I said we have to work on the 4 pavilions that we're trying to figure out now. That I appreciate his request, and that it's something that we can consider, down the line once we assess needs of other properties and so on and so forth. But I also did encourage him to, keep in touch with us. And
Is that some property?
I believe the Outlaws are.
so, no action on that, but he introduced himself, said, if you guys can find a way to get a pavilion out there, that'd be appreciated. So, again, I have his contact info, he has mine. I've told him, please feel free to come to our meetings, whatever, we'll do what we can, when the time's appropriate. So, and then, public comment. Do we have any public comment today? Can you please come up, state your address, please?
Name and address for the...
Name and address for the record.
Amy Lukic, address is 11720 West 119th Court in Cedar Lake.
Could you repeat that in the microphone, please?
Sure. Amy Lukic, and 11720 West 119th Court in Cedar Lake.
Okay, and what brings you in?
Should I continue to speak in here, or can I?
It's easier for them to...
Okay. It's nice microphone. Okay, sorry. So I'm here today because I know that you guys are putting together, a recreation for youth, I believe. Okay.
We're gonna try to do it for everyone, but yes.
Yeah, for everyone. Okay, great. So I'm here to basically be kind of like your spokesperson for especially the children and the kids who have, disabilities and differences. So whatever help you need, I could assist you with that, informing. But there is much need for, especially children and kids with differences, to have some kind of way into sports. And speaking from personal experience, I can tell you that it would be good to have like a sector or some kind of, add into the park board. So that was my big reason why I came in here today.
No, wonderful, and I think you're right. I think, from like the autism aspect of things, I know, I actually was just recently looking into this, like, I think there's like traveling sensory trailers. There was someone who had spoke to me about the idea of like, and I haven't figured out the proper name for it, but basically like a special needs event where we could kind of incorporate the sensory trailers and all the different things to make sure that everyone's, included and able to participate.
Yeah.
I think that's great. One of my long-term bucket wish items, I don't know if you ever actually watch our meetings, but there's a park out in Illinois called Challenger Field, and Challenger Field was designed so people with cystic fibrosis, multiple sclerosis, just kind of the special needs community in general could play baseball. Had a baseball field that was wheelchair accessible and stuff like that. If I can leave my mark somewhere down the way, I'd love to see that in the community, because everyone thinks that little Billy's going to the majors, but they forget about the kids that have the special needs that maybe wouldn't get that opportunity. So let's give them that opportunity to be, rock stars in the community, whether it's, baseball, whatever. So I love that. I believe I have an email from you.
I don't think I got around to email. I have talked to the secretary a couple of times about when your meeting was. And
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk.
Okay.
I think there's absolutely a place. I want Cedar Lake to be kind of, like, I think it would be cool to kind of have a special needs recreation program that stands out from the other communities. I was a Special Olympics coach for 4 years. I loved every second of it. My heart kind of lies that way. Just because the kids have a heart of gold and just want to do good. So I love it. I'd love to talk with you in the future.
Okay.
And I appreciate you coming.
Okay.
Does the board have any other comments?
No, and our emails you can find them on the website, so if you have ideas and things like that, feel free to email us anytime.
It'd be nice to get an email from a stranger.
Okay.
Yeah, feel free to email us, and bring in ideas and brainstorm and that kind of thing.
I know you guys have one coming up, although it's rather soon, so you have one in September. I know a lot of times, like, when you do a large event, like, they would do, I've seen them do, like, just a separate hour, like, where it was just closed off to people with disabilities or kids, and then, the rest of the event was just regular.
And that's something we can think about, like I said, there's definitely a need and demand, and, we don't want our special needs community to feel forgotten, and as we evolve our Parks and Recreation program, that's why when you said program for kids, I said for everyone, because I'm literally trying to think of everyone, regardless of age. And I think all of us as a board are minded that way too, so it's on our radar, and I really appreciate you coming out and offering to help, and I don't know that we're gonna turn away good people that are willing to help.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Amy, if you could, after the meeting, stop by and give me your email address, I'll send you a volunteer application.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Anything else for public comment? Going once, going twice, and sold. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Greg wants to get out of here. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, second by Paul. We will call this meeting adjourned, and our next meeting is August 25th, 2022. Motion adjourned and done at 7:07.